Welcome back to Hannity. 2016 GOP presidential candidate Donald Trump continues to surge in the polls. According to the latest Washington Post ABC News poll, Mr. Trump's popularity among Republicans has jumped to 57% in July, up from 23% in May. We were talking about the economy earlier. I want to specifically ask, how do you deal with a world where Putin is running roughshod over us? The Chinese are pursuing their territorial ambitions. You got ISIS out there taking territory that Americans fought, bled, and died over. And the Israelis now left out there to hanging out there to dry because this president abandoned them. You become president. Foreign policy. What are your priorities?
Sean, it's about respect. Putin has no respect for President Obama, and Obama doesn't like him much either, in all fairness, but he has no respect for Obama. China is, they're taking our money. They're fleecing us. We owe $1.4 trillion. They're our largest creditor. Individually now, we owe $18 trillion, going up very rapidly. But we owe to China $1.4 trillion. To Japan, we owe $1.3 trillion. Japan sends its cars in here, sells them by the millions, and we owe them money. How does this happen? With China, the same thing. They're devaluing their currency. What's going on is incredible. The problem is we have leaders that don't know what they're doing. And these countries don't respect us anymore, Sean. We need somebody that they're going to respect. And believe me, they will respect me. That I can tell you. I made a lot of money dealing against China, a lot. You'll see that in the statement if you look at it. But I make a lot of money dealing with foreign countries, and they have to respect you. And by the way, I get along with these foreign countries. They have to respect you, Sean.
I'm looking at this poll, and it shows a huge spike. You're now the front runner. You're the leader in the latest poll at 17%. But it shows that you do have, there's a fairly high percentage of people that, when you look at the electorate at large, where people strongly have an unfavorable view of you. And my question is, how do you get them to look at Donald Trump differently, to say, wait a minute, let me tell you what I'm going to do? How do you turn that number around?
Well, I'm leading in all the polls, and those numbers have really gotten a lot better, and people get to understand what I'm doing. A lot of the people, they said 40% of the people think I'm just doing this for fun. This isn't fun. I mean, it's costing me a lot of money. You can have a lot of money. It's still costing me. I lose accounts where Macy's doesn't mind having weak borders. And, Macy's is a disgrace, frankly. I think people shouldn't shop there anymore. It's disgusting. They were very disloyal and, frankly, in so many different ways. NBC, Univision, so many of these companies, and they're weak and they're ineffective people. I don't understand it. But I will tell you, when people see what I want to do for the country, those numbers, and you see them, they've gotten much better. And they'll continue to go up. But a lot of people think I'm just having a good time. This isn't a good time. Speaking with you, I think you're a fantastic guy, Sean, but I don't need to be doing this. This isn't really fun.
Yeah, I got better things to do than hang out. I got better things to do than hang out with Hannity. Great.
Well, I have other things I could be doing. I mean, but I think you see those numbers are getting very good now, and I think pretty soon they're going to be quite good. And look, Hillary was the worst Secretary of State in the history of our country. I'm the only one that's going to beat her, Sean. Nobody else is going to beat her. And she was terrible. And yet I have to go, and we have to, go through this process. And remember this, Jeb Bush will never take us to the promised land. No matter what you do, it's not going to happen.
How bad do you think America, in terms of its shape, you keep talking about making America great again. Well, that means we're not great right now.
We're not great right now.
How bad
is it? We lost our #1 seed to China. China now is the big economic engine. We lost our #1 seed to China. And that was unthinkable. If you would have gone back 6, 7, 8 years ago, that was unthinkable. No, we're not. We have infrastructure that's rotting. Sean, I travel all over the world. You go to places like anywhere, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, China, any place, you can name 100, you can name 30 places. You got to see the airports. You got to see the magnificent roads. You have to see the bridges that they have. We're falling apart. Our bridges are falling down. Our infrastructure is falling apart. Then you see hospitals where they spend $2 billion to build a hospital and they can't open it because it doesn't work. Believe me, I could turn this country around so fast, and people would love me for it. That's what they want, and that's why I'm leading in the polls, I think.
I'd like to see America great again as well. I'd like to see Americans back to work. I'd like to stop robbing future generations, and I'd like to be tough on the world stage once more. So I agree. We're in tough shape right now. Mr. Trump, good to see you. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much, Sean.
Coming up, we get your thoughts. Our question of the day, straight ahead.